They say you see your life flash before your eyes when you're about to die. But what they don't tell you is what happens when you hear your husband whispering wedding vows to your best friend, while you're still breathing. I wasn't supposed to hear that conversation. I wasn't supposed to survive either. But I did both, and that changed everything. My name is Riley Blake. I'm 32 years old, and 6 months ago I was dying, at least. That's what everyone thought. Let me take you back to the beginning, to the day my world fell apart. It started with a headache, then tiredness, then blood tests, then more tests, then a word that felt like a punch to the chest: cancer. Stage 3, aggressive. The doctor's face told me everything his words tried to hide. I remember walking out of that hospital in a daze. The sky looked the same, people were laughing. Didn't they know my life just ended? When I told my husband Derek, he cried, big shaking sobs that made his whole body shake. I can't lose you, Riley, he said, holding my hand so tight it hurt. I can't live without you, you're my everything. I believed him. God help me. I believed every word. Camille showed up the morning after my diagnosis, soup in one hand, tissues in the other, smiling like sunshine. You're going to beat this, she said. I'll be here every step of the way. She moved into our guest room temporarily to help, to support, but when I wasn't home, she was sleeping in my bed. Chemo was hell. The sickness, the hair, the looks from people who already saw me as a ghost. Camille held the cold cloth to my forehead. I've got you, she whispered. Derek stroked my arm. We're a team, the three of us, and I believed him, believed both of them. Every Friday, Derek brought roses to my warrior. Camille cooked my favorite meals, watched my favorite movies, even started wearing her hair like mine. You'll never have to find out what life's like without us, she said once, smiling. Liar. By month 2, I was fading. The doctors called it cautious optimism. Derek called it working from home. He wasn't caring for me, he was keeping track of me. And Camille? She'd already moved in completely. Clothes, perfume, life. My mother hugged her once and said, Riley's lucky to have you. I wonder if she felt as stupid as I did when the truth came out. It happened on a Tuesday night. The night that changed everything. I was supposed to be asleep. The pain medication usually knocked me out cold, heavy stuff. The kind that makes you dream weird, twisted dreams. But that night, my body decided to torture me with insomnia instead. My mind was racing. I kept thinking about death, about what comes after, about everything I'd never do. Then I heard voices downstairs, low, careful, secretive. Something in my gut twisted, not the cancer, something else, something primal, instinct. I got out of bed, my legs shaky, and crept to the top of the stairs. Each step felt like climbing a mountain, but I had to know. How much longer do you think? That was Camille's voice, soft, almost bored. The doctor said maybe 6 months, maybe less. Derek, my husband, my partner of 12 years. Silence. Then a sound that made my blood turn to ice. Laughter, quiet but real, genuine amusement. 6 months, Camille said slowly. Then we can finally do this right. The house, the insurance money, everything transfers to you automatically. We just have to wait. I know. Derek's voice was tired, bored almost. It's just hard pretending sometimes, you know? Acting like I care about her green smoothies and her stupid positive attitude. All that warrior bullshit. My hand gripped the railing so hard I thought it might snap. At least she doesn't suspect anything, Camille said. She actually thinks I'm here out of love. Another laugh. Cold, sharp, like breaking glass. God, she's so pathetic. The way she looks at me with those big, grateful eyes. She is, Derek agreed, then softer, almost tender. But soon it'll just be us. We'll get married, travel like we always talked about. Paris, Tokyo, all of it. Finally live. Finally, Camille whispered. I'm so tired of pretending she's my sister. I'm tired of smiling at her bald head and acting like I care. I'm tired of cooking food I'd never eat myself. I'm tired of holding her hand while she pukes. Just a few more months, Derek said. Then it's over, then she's gone and we get everything. There was a pause. Then the sound of kissing right there in my living room, under the roof I paid for. I love you, Camille whispered. I love you too, Derek said. Soon we won't have to hide anymore. I don't remember walking back to my room. I don't remember getting into bed. But I remember lying there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, while my heart shattered into 1,000 pieces, and then slowly, those pieces started to form something new, not a heart, a weapon. Let me tell you something about betrayal. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you dangerous. That night, something inside me died, but something else was born. The next morning, I looked at them differently, really looked at them. Derek made me breakfast, eggs, toast, orange juice. Eat up, honey, he said, kissing my forehead. You need your strength. I wanted to throw the plate in his face, but I didn't. I smiled. Thank you, baby. What would I do without you? Let's not think about that, he said quickly, too quickly. Camille came downstairs an hour later wearing my robe, the silk one Derek bought me for our anniversary. Morning, Riley, she said brightly. How are you feeling today? Tired, I said, but grateful, so grateful for you both. She hugged me. I smelled Derek's cologne on her skin, and I smiled wider. The next few days I watched them, really watched them. The way Camille's hand would brush Derek's when they passed in the hallway. The way Derek's eyes followed her when he thought I wasn't looking. The way they'd both disappear at the same time. Just running to the store. Just taking out the trash. How had I not seen it before? How long had this been going on? I didn't let myself think about it too much. If I did, I'd break, and I couldn't break. Not yet. 1 week after the conversation I overheard, I made my move. We were all sitting at dinner. Camille had made chicken soup. Derek was telling some boring story about work. I put down my spoon. I've been thinking, I said carefully. I want to try that experimental treatment in Copenhagen. I've been reading about it online. The Lumen Oncology Center. They're doing amazing things. It's risky, but it might be my only shot. The room went silent. Derek's face lit up, like a kid on Christmas morning. Really? That's amazing, honey. Wow. When would you go? As soon as possible. Maybe next week. I already contacted them. They have an opening. Camille reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Her eyes were so warm, so fake. We'll help you pack. We'll do everything. You just focus on getting better. I looked into her eyes, those lying, beautiful eyes. Thank you, I said softly. I don't know what I'd do without you. She smiled. You'll never have to find out. Under the table, I clenched my fist so hard my nails drew blood. This time I smiled back, and I meant it because I knew something they didn't. This wasn't the end. This was the beginning. The next few days were a blur of preparation. I packed my bags, made arrangements, told my family and friends I was leaving for treatment. Everyone cried, everyone hugged me, everyone said, "Be strong." Derek and Camille were the most helpful. They drove me to appointments. They organized my paperwork. They even threw me a small goodbye dinner with a few close friends. To Riley, Derek said, raising his glass, the strongest woman I know. Come back to us. Everyone drank, everyone cried. I smiled and thanked them all, but inside I was making a list, a very specific list, of everything I was going to take from them. 1 week later, they drove me to the airport. It was early morning. The sky was gray, perfect weather for a funeral. Derek carried my bags to the check-in counter. Camille held my hand the whole time. At the security gate, Derek kissed me, long, dramatic, for show. Come back to me, he whispered. I will, I promised. That part was true, just not the way he thought. Camille hugged me tight. Be strong, she said. Fight for your life. I will, I said. I promise. Oh, I plan to. I watched them walk away, arm in arm. Derek's hand slipped down to Camille's waist. She leaned into him. They looked happy. They looked like a couple, and I felt nothing, no sadness. No anger, just cold, clear focus. I got on the plane to Copenhagen and I never looked back. Copenhagen was cold, clean, beautiful. The Lumen Oncology Center was everything they said it would be. Modern, professional, hopeful. My doctor was a woman named Dr. Erickson. She had kind eyes and steady hands. "Your case is serious," she said, looking at my files, "but not hopeless. We've had success with patients like you. The treatment will be hard. But if you're strong, you have a real chance." "I'm strong," I said. She smiled. "I believe you." The treatments were brutal, worse than anything I'd experienced in Boston. New drugs, new procedures, my body felt like it was being torn apart and rebuilt. But it was working. Slowly, week by week, the cancer started to shrink, and while my body healed, my mind planned. I stayed in Copenhagen for 6 months, but I wasn't just getting treatment. Before I left Boston, I'd done something smart. Something they never suspected. I installed cameras, hidden cameras, in every room of my house, professional grade. Motion activated, silent, and I gave access to my lawyer and my assistant, Jenna. Every week, Jenna would send me updates. Videos, screenshots, evidence. And what I saw made me sick and angry and ready. They moved into my bedroom the day after my plane took off, Derek and Camille laughing, kissing, calling my home theirs. I watched every second through hidden cameras. I didn't cry. I took notes. Weeks passed. They planned their wedding in my living room. Camille tried on dresses while Derek called her Mrs. Vaughn. They spent my money, used my name, stole my work, every month. Another piece of me erased. But I was watching. Quietly building a record. Camille posted pictures online. Vacations, dinners, gifts bought with my account. People started asking questions. I played innocent, grateful even. Then came her biggest mistake. A photo of her hand wearing my engagement ring. Her caption said, "Finally living my truth." I smiled at the screen and whispered, "Not yet, sweetheart." But soon. While they were busy celebrating my death, I was getting stronger. Dr. Erickson called my recovery remarkable. I called it revenge. From Copenhagen, I started working again, quietly. I called Marcus Steele, the CEO of Argon Dynamics. "When I return," I told him, "I need a transfer. Higher pay. Clean slate." He studied me for a long moment, then smiled. "Director level," he said. "Corporate strategy. Make it count." "Oh, I will." 6 months later, I landed back in Boston at sunrise. I didn't go home. I went to war. A salon. A new haircut. Short, sharp, dangerous. A black power suit. Red lipstick. Heels that sounded like a promise. The woman in the mirror wasn't dying anymore. She was reborn. Monday morning, 8 a.m., I stood outside Argon Dynamics. Same building, same city. But a very different woman walked through those doors. The office was buzzing with the usual Monday chaos. Coffee, keyboards, gossip, the smell of too many people in too small a space. Then I walked in. The noise stopped. Just stopped. Someone dropped a coffee mug. It shattered on the floor. People stared, mouths open, eyes wide, like they were seeing a ghost. Because in a way they were. I walked past the reception desk. The receptionist, Sarah, I think her name was, just stared at me. Her mouth moved but no sound came out. I walked past the cubicles, past the conference rooms, past the break room where Derek and Camille always had their morning coffee, straight toward the executive wing. My heels echoed in the silence. Click, click, click. Everyone stopped working. Everyone watched. And then I saw them. Derek, Camille, standing by the coffee machine in the main floor atrium, laughing about something. Camille was wearing a dress I recognized, one I'd bought last year. She'd gone through my closet and taken it. Derek had his arm around her waist. Casual, comfortable, public. They hadn't even waited for my body to get cold. Derek looked up first, his eyes met mine, and his smile froze, literally froze on his face. The coffee cup slipped from his hand. It fell in slow motion, hit the floor, shattered into 100 pieces. brown liquid spreading like blood. Camille turned, saw me, and her face went white, actually white, like someone had drained all the blood from her body. "Riley?" she whispered, her voice cracked. I didn't stop walking, didn't even look at them directly. Just kept moving forward, chin up, eyes ahead. Like they weren't even worth my time because they weren't. "Good morning," I said coolly to Sarah at the reception desk. My voice was calm, strong. "I'm here for the executive strategy meeting. I'm the new director." Behind me, I heard Camille choke on air. Someone gasped. Whispers started spreading like wildfire. "She's back. I thought she was dying." "Is that really Riley Blake?" I smiled. "Welcome to Act 2. For 3 hours I sat in the glass-walled boardroom high above Boston, presenting the strategies I'd built in Copenhagen. No coughs, no tremors, no weakness, just sharp answers. Confident moves, a woman reborn. Marcus Steele watched me with pride. The board nodded, impressed. Down on the main floor, Derek and Camille stared up through the glass, pale and frozen, like they'd seen a ghost. Oh, I was real, and I was just getting started. When the meeting ended, Marcus shook my hand. "You were good before," he said quietly. "Now you're something else." "Thank you," I replied. My new office waited on the executive floor, huge windows, leather chairs, my name on the door. Jenna stood there grinning. "Welcome home, boss." "Thank you," I said, "for being my eyes." She smirked. Watching those two dig their own graves was the highlight of my year. I laughed, really laughed. It felt good. Jenna tilted her head. "What now?" I looked out at the city. "Now we wait. They'll come to me. They always do. And when they do?" I smiled. "Then the real fun begins." I was right. That evening, Derek showed up at my new office. He knocked softly on the glass door. "Riley, can we talk?" I looked up from my computer, took my time, let him stand there and squirm. "Come in," I said finally. He walked in slowly, carefully, like he was approaching a dangerous animal. He was holding flowers, roses, my favorite, or what used to be my favorite, how typical. "Riley," he said, voice shaking. I don't understand. What's happening? When did you get back? Why didn't you tell me?" I leaned back in my chair and looked at him, really looked at him, this man I'd loved, trusted, built a life with 12 years of my life given to him, and all I felt was pity. "You look surprised," I said calmly. "I am. I thought the treatment, you thought I was dying," I finished his sentence. "You thought I'd be gone by now. You thought you'd have the house, the money, the freedom. You thought you and Camille could finally stop pretending." His face went red, then white, then red again. "What? No. Riley, what are you talking about? That's crazy. Is it?" I stood up slowly, walked around the desk until I was right in front of him, close enough to smell his cologne, the same cologne Camille had been wearing that morning 6 months ago. "I heard you, Derek, that night. 6 months ago I heard everything." The color drained from his face. The flowers dropped from his hands. Petals scattered across my new carpet. "Riley, I can explain." "You can't." My voice was ice, pure ice. "You wanted me dead. Both of you. You just didn't want to get your hands dirty. So you waited, you pretended, you played the role of loving husband. And you waited for cancer to do your dirty work. That's not. It wasn't like that." His voice was breaking. Tears in his eyes, but I knew those tears. They weren't real. They never were. "You know what the funny thing is?" I said softly. "I actually would have died. The doctors gave me 6 months, maybe less. Your plan would have worked." He reached for my hands. I stepped back. "But then something happened," I continued. "Something you didn't plan for. I got angry. And anger, Derek. Anger is a powerful motivator. Riley, please. I love you. I've always loved you." I laughed, short, sharp, mean. "You don't love me. You loved my life insurance policy. You loved my house, my money, my job, but me. You wanted me dead. That's not true. Then explain the cameras, Derek. He froze. What? The cameras I installed before I left. The ones that recorded everything, every kiss, every laugh, every plan you and Camille made, every time you said you couldn't wait for me to die. His face went from white to gray. You recorded us? I did. 6 months of footage, every moment of your betrayal captured in high definition. Riley, please, I can explain. There's nothing to explain. You wanted my life. You wanted me gone. Well, congratulations, Derek. You got your wish. The old Riley is dead. She died the night she heard you laughing about her funeral. I walked to the door. Opened it. Now get out of my office. Riley. Get out. He stood there for another moment, looking at me with those puppy dog eyes that used to work. They didn't work anymore. He left, head down, shoulders slumped, and I closed the door. Camille tried a different approach. The next week, she showed up at Argon Dynamics during lunch when she knew the main floor would be crowded. She was crying, dramatic, loud, public. Riley, please. She sobbed in the lobby. Security was already moving toward her, but I waved them off. I wanted everyone to see this. I don't know what Derek told you, but it's not true. He's lying. He's the one who started everything. He seduced me. He told me you didn't love him anymore. He said you wanted a divorce. The lobby went silent. Everyone stopped. Phones came out. People were recording. Good. I walked down the stairs slowly, calmly, every eye in the building on me. Stop, I said quietly, but my voice carried, don't embarrass yourself more than you already have. I'm pregnant. She screamed, actually screamed. I'm pregnant, Riley. With his baby. That's why this happened. It was an accident. We didn't mean to fall in love. But now there's a baby. The gasps echoed through the lobby. I felt nothing. I walked up to her, stood right in front of her, close enough that only she could hear my next words. You're not pregnant, I said softly. You're desperate. There's a difference. Her eyes widened. I know you, Camille. Better than you know yourself. This is what you do when you're cornered. You lie. You create drama. You play victim. But it won't work this time. I stepped back, raised my voice so everyone could hear. Congratulations on your relationship with Derek. I hope you two are very happy together. You deserve each other. And I walked away. The crowd parted for me like water. Behind me, I heard Camille collapse into sobs. Real ones this time. Good. Later, Jenna came to my office with a smile. I did some digging, she said. Camille's not pregnant. She hasn't even been to a doctor. It was all a show. I know, I said. How? Because I know her. She's predictable. When she's losing, she goes nuclear. She tries to create so much chaos that people forget what the real issue is. Well, it didn't work. No, I agreed. It didn't. Jenna sat down. So what's next? I pulled out a folder thick, full of documents. Next, we let them destroy themselves. See, while Derek and Camille were busy panicking, I was busy working. Those cameras I installed? They captured more than just their affair. They captured Derek working from home on my computer. Using my files, they captured him taking credit for my projects. Copying my work, stealing my ideas. They captured Camille going through my home office, photographing documents, sending them to her own email, corporate espionage, theft, fraud. I had everything. But I didn't turn it in, not yet. Instead, I started leaking information. Slowly, carefully, strategically. An anonymous email to the accounting department. You might want to look at Derek Vaughn's expense reports. The numbers don't add up. A whispered rumor to a senior manager. I heard Camille Rhodes was taking credit for other people's work. A casual mention to Marcus. It's interesting how some of the proposals Derek submitted while I was gone look almost exactly like drafts I left behind. None of it was direct. None of it pointed back to me, but it made people look. And when people looked closer at Derek and Camille's work, well, turns out they actually were doing shady things, fake invoices to pad their expense accounts, stolen proposals from other team members, cut corners on client projects, falsified reports. They'd gotten lazy, comfortable. They thought no one was watching. But someone was, me. The audit started on a Thursday morning. Elliot Cross, the company's chief investigator, showed up with a team of 3 and boxes of files. "We're conducting a routine audit of several departments," he announced in a company-wide email. "Please have all your files and records ready for review." Everyone panicked, but Derek and Camille? They went into full crisis mode. I watched from my office as Derek rushed around the floor, talking to people in hushed voices. Camille locked herself in a conference room with her laptop. They knew something was wrong, they just didn't know how wrong. By Friday, they were both in Marcus Steele's office, Derek shouting, Camille crying, Elliot Cross standing in the corner like a silent judge. Through the glass walls, I watched it all. At one point, Derek pointed toward me. Marcus looked up, met my eyes. I smiled, calm, unbothered. He nodded once. And just like that, it was over. A few minutes later, Marcus came to my office. "Half the evidence against them traces back to you," he said. I met his gaze. "I have no idea what you're talking about." He smirked. "Riley, I'm not mad. I just need to know, is it real? Every word. Every file. Every receipt. I didn't fake anything. I just made sure the right people saw it." Marcus nodded. "Then they're done. Terminated tomorrow morning." He turned to leave, then paused at the door. "The old you was good," he said. "But this version? Unstoppable." When he left, I finally let myself smile. Slow, quiet, satisfied. Justice looked good on me. 3 weeks later, Derek and Camille were gone. The investigation was clean, quiet, and devastating. No jail time. Marcus didn't want a scandal, but their careers were finished. Their names were erased from Argon Dynamics, their desks emptied overnight. Derek tried one last trick, divorce and half my assets. My lawyer, Patricia Chun, didn't even blink. "Your client was sleeping with his wife's best friend while she was dying," she told his attorney. "We have 6 months of proof, video, audio messages. If you push this, we'll sue for emotional damages." Derek walked away with nothing. No house, no money, no name left to protect. Camille vanished soon after, her social accounts deleted, her reputation gone. I signed the final papers in my corner office, the city lights of Boston glowing below. For the first time in years, the silence didn't hurt. It felt peaceful. I wasn't the woman they buried anymore. I was the one who wrote the ending. And this time, it was mine.